A question hangs over English football like never before. Two titans clash. One has dominated English football for years with an iron grip on success. The other has rebuilt itself from the ashes, hungry for redemption. As April 2026 unfolds, the Premier League reaches its final chapters, and what happens next could redefine the entire landscape of English football. Will Manchester City extend their reign of dominance, or will Arsenal finally break through to reclaim their throne? This is the story of ambition, strategy, and the relentless pursuit of greatness. Welcome to the channel Football News in the World. Today we dive deep into one of the most compelling narratives in modern sports. Before we begin, subscribe, like the video, and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss anything. Your support helps us. Manchester City, under Pep Guardiola, has constructed one of the most successful dynasties in Premier League history. Since 2018, they have won multiple titles, shaped modern football, and accumulated wealth and resources that few clubs can match. Arsenal, meanwhile, once dominant under Wenger, experienced a decade of decline, but now, under younger management, the resurrection has begun. The 2025 to 2026 season represents a turning point for City, a legacy to cement; for Arsenal, the chance to reclaim their place at the top. Manchester City's approach was methodical and refined. They controlled possession, the tempo, and the narrative of matches week after week. Arsenal, by contrast, played with different energy. Their squad was younger, invested in players with pace, dynamism, and youthful hunger. Players like Bukayo Saka continued to mature into world-class talents. Their midfield had balanced technical ability combined with physical presence. Throughout the season, the two clubs engaged in a strategic chess match. City typically enjoyed 60-65 possession, yet Arsenal learned to exploit the spaces. Their counter-attacking was incisive. They understood they did not need to match City's possession. The January 2026 transfer window was a turning point. City chose a measured approach, bringing in experienced players rather than young prospects. Arsenal made a statement, investing in a young midfielder from Europe, suggesting they were building for sustained dominance beyond 2026. By February 2026, the race became open. Manchester City held a 1-point lead, but Arsenal was breathing down their neck. City drew 1-1 with Liverpool. Draws felt like defeats. Guardiola began making subtle tactical adjustments, trying to generate more creativity. Arsenal showed mental resilience. When they fell behind, they responded. This was a team learning to win through character. In March, Arsenal traveled to Manchester. The match was a classic encounter. It ended to -2, keeping both teams level on points. As April arrived, the title race remained open. Manchester City held a 1-point advantage, but Arsenal had the momentum. Pundits and fans started to believe that perhaps this could be the year Arsenal finally broke City's dominance. Manchester City's players had won titles before. They knew how to manage pressure, yet the tension was higher than ever. Arsenal's players played with freedom. Younger stars like Saka and Gabriel Martinelli were playing the football of their lives. City played Chelsea and won 2-0, a performance suggesting their experience remained unmatched. 3 points closer, they reasserted their authority, but then Arsenal responded. They won the North London Derby 3-1. They were not merely competing. They were becoming a force. For nearly a decade, City has been the dominant force. Their success results from a specific philosophy and sustained investment. Manchester City's dominance has been built on several foundations. First, they control possession and the tempo of matches. This requires players of exceptional technical ability and intelligence. Second, they have maintained consistency, winning titles in difficult seasons. Third, they have adapted and evolved when opponents discovered methods to challenge them. City adjusted and remained ahead. Arsenal's challenge to this dominance represents something different. It is not the challenge of a club with unlimited resources. Arsenal's investment has been significant but more restrained than City's. They had to rebuild their reputation and culture after years of mediocrity. It is the challenge of a young team, hungrier perhaps, because they have less to lose, more to prove. The title race in 2026 is fundamentally about different philosophies. City represents refined, methodical, almost mathematical excellence. Arsenal represents a more youthful, dynamic, perhaps more unpredictable form of excellence. The outcome will reveal which approach is more effective. Behind the scenes, both clubs represent different organizational approaches. Manchester City has invested heavily in infrastructure and scouting. They have built a system designed to sustain success over many years. Arsenal has been more careful careful with spending, focusing on younger players with potential. This creates a sense of collective growth. City's team is often composed of players brought in from other top clubs with experience of winning at the highest level. Arsenal's team has more homegrown development and younger players who have grown together. Both approaches have revealed strengths and vulnerabilities. This title race has not gone unnoticed. In Spain and Germany, observers note the similarities and differences to their own rivalries. The Premier League remains the world's most successful league. This race captures the imagination of the global football community. For Pep Guardiola, the 2026 season is unique. Defending against a resurgent rival is psychologically different from past seasons. Guardiola has been notably measured, showing respect for the opponent while maintaining his team's focus. For Arsenal's manager, the pressure is equally intense. This is a moment where years of rebuilding could be justified by a title. Supporters of both clubs feel genuine belief. This drives passion and generates the kind of emotional investment that makes sport meaningful. Social media has amplified these reactions, with fans analyzing every tactical decision and player performance. The outcome carries implications beyond the season. If City wins, it's immense their position as the defining club of this era. If Arsenal wins, it suggests the era of City's unchallenged dominance may be ending, shifting toward a more competitive landscape. If you know any little-known stories, write them in the comments. I may turn your information into a future video. As we stand in April 2026, the race remains open. Both teams have shown why they deserve to compete for the championship. What do you believe will happen? Will experience prevail, or will youthful energy carry the day? Write your prediction below.